Number 898 includes. Hey, I'm Philip, and in this video series I'm gonna solve all TypeScript type challenges and walk you through the solutions. Follow along if you want to learn and become a TypeScript pro. Implement the JavaScript array.includes function in a type system. A type takes the two arguments. The output should be a boolean, true or false. For example, is Pillarman includes some names and checks for Dio is expected to be false because it's not in the array. So let's open this up in the code editor. I would say we start with the test type. This should be any now as it is because right now we don't have anything here. So t extends read only any array and u is just u. Let's build a utility that's called equal with a and b and just checks if a extends b. If that is true, then we're gonna check if b also extends a, and if that's also true, then it's true, otherwise it's false. So now we have a utility type that we can use to check if two things are equal, and I would say we try this if that works with t and u, and it obviously does not work. It returns false even though cars is in there. We're gonna solve this with recursion. So let's check t extends infer first and ... infer rest. If that's the case, then we're gonna check is the first element equal to u, and otherwise we call this same function again with rest, which does not work because we can only access rest in the first branch. So here we can use first and rest. So we have to check now in this if equal of first and u extends true because then it's true. Then we can return true. Otherwise, call this function with rest and u, and down here it should be false anyway. Let's call this my equal. Otherwise, we use here the equal that is a util of the repository. It appears to not be the same, but for now it works. Test is true. Cars is in there. Let's check it with Dio. Dio is false. And now everything works except for these two tests. And here you check if the array of the object that has a property A with a capital A as a string is equal to an object that has exactly these properties but is read-only. Okay, that's obviously not the case. So we have to check for read-only. I do not know how to do that. We can use the built-in equality operator and then it works. So I would say we're gonna get some inspiration. We can check it out. Let's copy this and call them x and y so it works. So we're checking a function type that takes nothing but a type parameter of t and returns t. If that extends x, then 1, otherwise 2, and that again has to extend basically the same function type with y, and if all of that is true, then we get true. That's definitely a harder one, but that's apparently the solution. All the tests pass, so I would say we check out the solutions and hope for an explanation. Maps the array from index item value to index item value 2 and returns whether the expected item value u is true. This only allows you to be a property key, so it won't pass all test cases. Revised, okay. Recursive type that checks if the first item is the item. It returns true if so or else, just rerunning the type on the rest of the items. Okay, that's basically what we also did. I mean, here we see again this function type returns a boolean for whether given two types are equal. Link to GitHub TypeScript repository, so let's check that out. Here's a solution that makes creative use of the assignability rule for conditional types, which requires that the extents be identical as that is defined by the checker. This passes all the tests from the initial description that I was able to run except age, which fails because the definition of identical doesn't allow an intersection type to be identical to an object type with the same properties. Feature request, type level equal operator, not a bad idea. Already quite old, 6 years. TypeScript type system is highly functional. Type level testing is required. Here are some examples. Oh, that's the one I did because it makes smart use of wrapping the types in a data structure. So with the array brackets, you prevent type distribution, and that's why you exactly compare the two types, which also works for everything except for readability, apparently. It works, but how? Could you provide more explanation? I tried to explain it, though, by TypeScript's bivariant behavior or something else, but I failed. Help, please. That's how I feel. As far as I know, it relies on conditional types being deferred when T is not known. Assignability of deferred conditional types relies on an internal is type identical to check, which is only true for two conditional types if both conditional types have the same constraint, the true and false branches of both conditions are the same type. Okay, that is a complicated explanation. So this is apparently the type. I cannot really explain it, I'm sorry. But I mean, it's great and we definitely should keep this in our heads. It's definitely a good utility for the future. I don't know how this challenge is easy, to be honest, because this is definitely hard to solve, but I would say we're done. If this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe. See you in the next one.